Welcome back to the back nine, second round. It all comes down to this, the second Phoenix Fall Classic presented by RWC Building Products. This is Sweetwater Disc Golf Course. We've got a pretty brutal front nine, and the back nine is full of OB, full of Mandos. Let's check our scores here just to double back. Braden and Parker still knotted up. Dan and Gailey both tied at 7. They've dropped a few strokes on that front nine. They're going to be looking to score on the back to try to catch back up. 4-stroke swing is not uncommon on that backside either. There's plenty of opportunities for birdies. There's also plenty of opportunities for bogeys and double bogeys, as we've seen in previous coverage. So, hole 10. Majority of players yesterday opted to go with a flex line low just to punch it right at the basket. It's only 325 feet uphill. The fear is really going deep on this hole. The sidewalk is downhill and right behind the basket, so you've only got about 25 to 30 feet there. Easy to roll away on if you don't land softly. Gailey taking the box. Oh, he's going turnover rock. Well, he might have slipped a little bit there, punching it way out to the field. Cameraman might have lost track of it there. Went way off to the left of the basket. Braden opting forehand. A little bit windier today, which might have might have changed his decision here. Oh, and he went pretty low. Fought out of it, but it stayed way off to the left of the basket again. He'll have a look for a 2 from back there. We'll see how much that tree comes into play. Dan, I think his obvious choice is to go forehand here. I'm sure with that wind, he would still go forehand. Taking his time, measuring it up. Really rifles that thing. That's beautiful. Oh, and a good stop by the tree. That might have, that could very well have taken an awkward roll down the hill. I'm going to call that a good tree. Parker sticking with the low flex. And hitting that low hanging branch. Really tough 2 from back there, especially with OB behind the basket. Easy 3. Gailey from the awkward field position out here. Low forehand. And the tree kick kind of keeping him out towards the edge of the circle there. See if he can't save that for par. Ooh, Braden giving a decent run. The low ceiling. Yeah, I think he's just inside the circle here. Ooh, nice putt. All right, Dan putting out for 3. Nice. Oh, wait, was that for his 2? That was for his birdie. Nice, the solo 2 on this hole. And Braden taking the easy 3, right on. We move on to a must-get hole here. Hole 11 is Parker tapping out really quick. Hole 11 is the island hole. The island's pretty tight. But, I mean, it's only 226 feet right ahead of you. There should be a left to right wind here, which will definitely change these guys' take on what to throw. I think we'll see some overstable putters thrown over the sidewalk just to fade into the island circle. Possibly a forehand. The wind pushing the forehand to the right is kind of scary. You'd really have to hang it out wide, I think, to keep it in the circle. Yeah, Dan opting to go back in. Taking the box on a well-earned 2. Flipped it up, landing soft. Beautiful shot. Can't ask for much better than that. Oh, and Gailey's going forehand. High installed. Yep, easy peasy. Looks like the wind might have died down a little bit even. See, November, the sun feels like it sets so fast. I mean, it's pretty early in the afternoon and it already is starting to get a little darker outside. But with the temperature changes comes the wind. Usually the pros have a lot more wind to deal with than the AMs do. Parker going flex breaker, park job. All right, looks like we might see a star frame here. Definitely a must get for these guys. Attaboy Gailey. Braden up and in. Parker for a tap in. And Dan finally tapping his in here. So Dan 2 down through 2 now. See if he can't keep that streak going. He's got the box still. Hole 12 is a pretty tough get. It's you really got to have a long 370, a really straight flying 370 to get to the basket here. Pretty tight gap. It's left of the first tree and then right of the second tree, so you kind of have to thread the needle between them. Flex line is really the best play, or unless you can flip up highs or something that's going to fade in softly towards the basket. We saw our lead card yesterday. A lot of them faded out early. I think we had, I think one player, was it Broston, got really close to the basket for his 2, so. These guys are definitely looking for 2s here, especially Dan, who's just a couple strokes back of the leaders here. Oh, and it's early. Oh, and he missed the Mando.
I say miss.
I'll have to take a stroke from the drop zone there. That's a tough break, man, because you really do have to put a lot of power on it, and with that power usually comes a little bit of a late release. Missing that first Mando is tough. Steve's trying to go inside. Does it stay in bounds? Oh, it does not. It's the tough part about the inside line. It's real easy to fade onto the sidewalk. It's really easy to take bogeys on this hole. This one and hole 14 really get a lot of people. Making the Mando. Might have hit some leaves to take a lot off it, but at least he's taking a stroke on the other 2 guys there. Parker measuring up the airspace here. Nope. All right, he's in bounds. We'll take it. Interesting little pullback he had there. Dan throwing a nice smooth hyzer from the drop zone. Yep, good enough. Braden with a really long effort here. Beautiful. Good upshot. Heaving it up gaily and giving it a decent run. Parker got a lot closer than I thought. It's a decent look on this hole. A little soft. He's not happy with it. But I mean, the look on this hole is better than most shots. Oh, in the corner pocket to save the 4. Oh, and Haley taking a double. There's a lot of sights and sounds at this park. A lot of pedestrians. I mean, they don't typically interfere with the course at all. The neighborhood really quite appreciates the disc golfers out there. Talked to a lot of people from the neighborhood in my time working on this park, and a lot of positive feedback for the disc golf course. So let's keep the foot traffic out here. Hole 13, 306 feet, slightly downhill. OB left, right, and center. Most of these guys are going to be throwing a putter just to land soft. Anything that you can get to just fade right in at this tree here, just to skirt up towards the basket's ideal. I usually go soft EMAC truth on a hyzer towards the street and just sort of let it stand up and cruise in towards the basket. Kind of a must get. A lot of long holes on this course, and anything below 400 feet, you got to be licking your chops at. Braden going AVR 3 and ending up in a good spot. Pretty close to OB, but he stayed in. Again, another one we opted to put in the grass just because of slick concrete. Hopefully we can get some designated disc golf tee pads out here. Parker going a little low. We'll have a look at it. Oh, did he overturn this, Dan? He got away with one there, I think. Definitely not what he's looking to throw there. Might be a little shook after that bogey on the last hole. Steve looking for redemption with the rock. Skirted up there. That's short. Dan with a long look. Lofts it up for the easy 3. Oh, I wanted him to come back so bad from that double. It was a good effort. It's a good effort from back there. These are the putts that win tournaments right here. Yep. Taking these strokes, man. Taking every one you can. That's what'll set you apart. Steve knocking down the 3. Yeah, Braden got nice and close for getting that far off to the right, man. Yeah. Way to keep up, Braden. Dan Beck representing the ASU disc golf team. He's represented for a couple of years now. We just picked up a nice sponsorship with those boys. Go support them at any of their events if you can. Hole 14. This one's tough. 420 feet. The fence on the right's out of bounds. The sidewalk on the left is out of bounds. So a lot of people opt to go big hyzer over the right because it does open up. You see the fence kind of kicks off to the right, and the landing zone gets a lot bigger. It's got a bit of a bottleneck right off the tee pad. So if you try to go anhyzer and fade out early, you're definitely out of bounds. If you overturn it, you can go over the fence. It's pretty easy. These guys are just going to rifle the big fat hyzer at it because they're going to be able to get close. Braden, probably about 40 feet out. It's a decent effort. I think he's throwing a Halo Destroyer there. Parker going wide over the yard there. A lot of forward push on this though. Look at that. Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot. God, it looks like Dan's almost going up the middle with that walk up. I do a lot of studying on how people walk up and position their bodies for where their disc ends up going for the airspace. One of my favorite aspects of the game. See, for him to walk up left and to try to push the disc right, I feel like the only way that this disc is going to end up is far left. That in my mind is what makes sense. I know everybody's got their own style and flair, but I think the way you walk up is really where you want to try to hit the space. I mean, you see, oh, that's low. Oh, cameraman lost it even. Did it get back over the fence? I wonder if that stayed in the parking lot. Oh, I see some dust. He said, no way am I safe. I think that got back in. Lucky boy, getting away with one there. Dan really want to save a 3 here, man. That OB stroke's tough. It's up. Oh. That was a good reach at it. Yeah, Steve did get back in. All right. With a look for it, too. Definitely got away with one there. That was looking like it was going to stay in the parking lot. Not a great day to stay in the parking lot either with how many people were there. We're definitely going to have to move the tee pad next year. Braden looking for it, too. Oh! Oh, we wanted it. Like I said, though, those are the putts that win tournaments. Those get up and in, man, because then you're keeping up with Parker. Oh, and he misses. They stay knotted up. Look at that. There's only a few holes left. Really want to make those shots count. Okay. The leader's still knotted at 13. This is another tough hole here. Left, right, OB. Most players opt to go with a flex shot, something that's going to fade in towards the basket early of the bush that's right next to it. That way you have a look at it too. It's another hole that seems to play a lot farther than it really is. Feels like you've got to play all of 420 to get close. But this is another green that really narrows down. So really, ideally, just stay in bounds. This looks like it might be a little low. Yeah, just a little low. A little more air underneath that would have faded out and I think gotten a lot closer to the basket. Look at that, the shade's already coming off for Braden. The high flex shot looks really, really good out of his hand. And he's got to look at it. It's better than most on this hole, honestly, having a look for a 2. Steve going for a little hyzer flip action. Oh, he went high. With the high hyzer. Right behind Parker. Yeah, a lot of sights and sounds at the park, man. You get a lot of park goers with the little mini mopeds out here for whatever reason. It is connected to one of the longest bike paths in Arizona, I've heard. And they are not quiet to those things. Dan going a little too low, I think. Dan might have been a little shook since he took that double bogey. Hasn't quite been himself. Looks like he stayed in bounds over there, though. Just got to stop the bleeding at some point. Good enough. Braden dealing with the awkward bushy tree up and over with a decent little ring at it. I think it just caught some of those back end limbs, or it might have actually had a chance of going in without those. Oh, with a big 2. There he is, getting back to even for the day. That's got to feel pretty good. That's a good confidence booster, that. Not a ton of people get this one. Yes. Yes, sir. The nice, clean putt. And Dan taking the 3. All right, hole 16, the long par 4. 674 feet uphill. OB all the way around. So you really just got to stay in the grass here. Most players off the tee are looking to go big hyzer. You don't even really need to go that big. I mean, if these guys can just take 400 feet and then have the extra 300 feet to approach the basket with, then you're taking an easy 3. But 3s are fairly seldom. Especially when things get windy. You've usually got a headwind here when things get windy. As I mentioned before, it looks like the wind's really calmed down since the start of the round. These guys are definitely looking to score on this one. You got back-to-back par 4s here that are absolutely gettable for these guys. Let's see what Steve can do. It's got that same yellow. I'm wondering what that thing is. He's been throwing it a lot. Oh, it's fading out towards the sidewalk. Does it stay? Just trickles out, man. That is tragic. You see it a lot, though. Braden with the Halo Destroyer. See, this looks like it has a chance at going OB as well. But it did stand up and go straighter. Yep, a little more direct towards the basket. That's a good shot. Dan, I'm sure it's trying to unleash some aggression here. Can't be happy with today's round. Boom. Right past Braden's. There he is, inbounds. Parker going with a lofty flex line. Beautifully drawn up. Beautiful approach. Braden opted for the forehand. Skipping up. And getting close. 2 easy threes right there. Absolutely helps with the wind dying down. I can kind of hear a little bit of wind in the mic now that I said something, of course. Dan swinging it in. Getting close. Close enough, we hope. Steve opted for the forehand as well. This looks like it's fading a little early. But still inside the circle, I think. Yeah, definitely inside. All right, up and in. Good three. Dan will be looking to do the same. There he is. Braden and Parker. Well done. Easy peasy. Now we're moving on to the must-get par 4, I'd call it. Just over 500 feet, hole 17. The only OB to really worry about is just behind the basket. There is some sidewalk range out on the right side that can, if you overturn something, you can definitely push it that way. I'd argue these guys aren't really going to worry too much about that. They're going to look to bite off a whole ton of distance and look for that eagle. See how they draw it up. Parker going big over the gazebo. Worked for him yesterday. This looks like it's just stalling out a little early on him. He might have gotten the nose up just slightly. Oh, Braden opted to go direct at it this time instead of over. I think he threw a bit of a thrower yesterday. Direct, but a little bit low, I think. Skipping in. See what we can come up with for an eagle run from back there. Dan looks like he picked his beefier of the Halo destroyers. I'm guessing maybe the headwind slightly came back. Yeah, he's out there. He'll have that for an approach back there, which is probably about 80 feet, if I had to guess, 80 to 100. Oh no, Steve hitting the first tree. Oh, but he fought right through it. Look at that. Getting away with another one, Steve. Local route. Whoa. Nice attempt from back there. You might as well, right? Every stroke counts. Parker with a good pitch up. Braden with a good pitch up. All right, boys cleaning up their threes. Take the easy birdie, and now the last hole. 380 feet. Definitely smooth turnover territory or big forehand territory. Anything to just stay off the basketball court. It's a really easy to make Mando. Without the Mando there, you can just throw a big fat hyzer over the courts, but can't have people throwing over that while people are playing basketball. Oh, and the wind is definitely back. A decent headwind. Parker still opting to go with the flex line here. Really got to know your disc with this type of situation. What angles are going to work on. Yep, that's a man that knows his disc, that's for sure. Great shot. Great effort. A great way to close out your tournament with that. Oh, and he got way over on that one. Never came. That might have gone OB pretty early even. Yeah, that's tough, especially because I'm pretty sure that would have been a second place finish for him, but he's taking a stroke here. That was such a clean forehand. Goodness gracious. Doesn't get any better than that. Nice shot, Dan. Gailey opting to go with the flip-up rock here. But he stays in bounds. I don't think he quite got the turn and glide out of it that he wanted. Braden pitching up, forced to take the 4 here. Not much else you can do from out there. Steve heaving this one up. A good effort at it. All right, Braden to save bogey. Nice putt. Great conviction on that. Didn't let the OB stroke phase him. He's got a bright future, this kid. Oh, and Dan just up and over that. Oof, that was tight. That was tight. Parker Welk. Didn't need the 2, but he took it. That's a good win from Parker. Congratulations. Your Phoenix Fall Classic champion this year. Just signed on with Team DD. No more DGA for the kid. And here we landed. Broston and Forrest tying for second place, coming from the chase card with a 9 and 10 down. Very impressive. Braden dropping a couple of strokes there at the end. Christopher Robbins, Dan staying up in the top 10, which is great. Steve dropping down to 8. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you again to RWC for helping make this coverage happen. Hopefully we'll see you guys next year. Go out and play Sweetwater. Enjoy it. Bye, guys.